Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to allow those who are standing the opportunity to have a seat as we get set to commence this morning's proceedings. I know there were a couple of media individuals who are still setting up. Do I have the signal? Tell me once we're ready to go. Yeah? And I'll commence. So we'll give them about a minute or two more to fine tune, and then we will commence this morning's proceedings, yeah? Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen in the room, as we commence this morning's proceedings, I ask that we please stand for the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may please have your seats. And may I say what a beautiful national anthem. Allow me this morning to introduce myself. My name is Tioka Dove, and I serve at Caribbean Export as the Program Officer for Gender and Entrepreneurship. I also have the privilege and honor of leading the GRIT program. I'll now establish our order of protocol, and with us here this morning, the Honorable Laverne Gibson Velox, Minister of Family, Gender Affairs, Persons with Disabilities. Ms. Tu Tran Nguyen, Second Secretary Development, High Commission of Canada in Barbados and the OECS. Ms. Anna Young, Executive Director, Invest SVG. Mrs. Okolo John Patrick, Director of Trade, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Mr. Wayne Elliott, Head, Technical Programs, Caribbean Export Development Agency. Ms. Nadine Agard Juliet, Director of Export Marketing and Promotions, Invest SVG. Distinguished guests, distinguished entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the launch of the Caribbean Women Generating Resilient and Inclusive Trade GRIT project launch of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You can give a round of applause because, as they say, sometimes you leave the best for last. And most importantly, this is the final launch of countries. We have now launched in all 6 of our direct target countries, and we're now here in the beautiful St. Vincent and the Grenadines to meet with you, not just to launch, but for a week of engaging activities. I would like to welcome, as we start off today's proceedings, to bring welcome remarks, Miss Anna Young, CEO of Invest SVG. Miss Young.
Thank you. Good day. I have to say I have not heard the national anthem in a few decades, and I was a bit emotional hearing that. And there was a young lady there in the red who was singing so passionately, and I hadn't seen the anthem sang like that. The American anthem, yes, with all its glory, but that was a good welcome home for me. So, protocol adopted. I'd like to begin by saying, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to join you for the launch of the GRIT project here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today is more than just a launch. It is a statement that we are serious about building the economy that is inclusive, resilient, and globally competitive, and that we recognize women entrepreneurs as central to that vision. Across our country, women are already leading in business, in innovation, and in community development. This initiative is about ensuring that they have the tools, access, and support to scale that impact beyond our borders. We are also operating in a very challenging global economic environment. Ongoing geopolitical conflicts, particularly in key energy-producing regions, continue to disrupt supply chains and drive increases in oil and gas prices. These pressures are fueling inflation, slowing global growth, and creating uncertainty for businesses and governments alike. For small import-dependent economies like ours, the impact is even more pronounced, as higher energy costs translate directly into higher costs of production, transportation, and trade. This reality underscores the urgency of building more resilient, efficient, and self-sustaining economic systems. At Invest SVG, our mandate is to attract, facilitate, and sustain investment that drives national development. But investment is not just about capital. It is about people, our people, ideas, and opportunity. And when women are fully included in that equation, the returns are transformational. Women, we know this at home, don't we? Even as we speak about opportunity, we must also confront a reality. That reality, too often, our entrepreneurs have a great product and even a willing buyer. We've seen that in our recent diaspora program in the UK, but are unable to meet the volume, consistency, and standards required by the market. This gap between demand and supply is one of the most critical constraints we face. If we are serious about trade, we must fix this. That means investing in incubators and accelerators that build capacity, strengthen production systems, and support quality assurance. And it means ensuring access to the kind of financing that allows businesses not just to start, but to scale. We must also commit to becoming more results-driven. Meetings, consultations, and discussions are important, but they are not outcomes. What matters is what we deliver. Businesses scaled, markets accessed, jobs created, and exports increased. We must move with urgency from conversation to execution, with clear targets, accountability, and measurable impact. Our entrepreneurs do not need more talk, they need results. In that regard, Invest SVG itself is being repositioned to deliver. We are sharpening our focus on investment facilitation, strengthening aftercare for investors, and building stronger linkages between local enterprises and global markets. We are moving toward a more proactive, service-driven approach, one that supports businesses from concept to expansion. Our goal is simple: to ensure that Invest SVG is not just a promoter of opportunity, but a driver of tangible outcomes. Initiatives like the GRIT project aligned directly with this direction. They create pathways for women entrepreneurs to not only participate in trade, but to compete and lead within it. And they remind us that empowering women in business is not just the right thing to do, it is a smart economic strategy. I commend the Caribbean Export Development Agency and all the partners involved for bringing this important initiative to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Invest SVG stands ready to work with you to ensure that the impact of this program is real, measurable, and lasting. To the women entrepreneurs here today, this initiative is about you, your ideas, your ambition, and your leadership. We are committed to supporting you as you grow, scale, and succeed. Thank you, and I wish you a successful and impactful launch.
Thank you kindly, Ms. Young, and I must say, thank you also to the team that you lead. They were instrumental in planning and supporting us in preparing in country, as Invest SVG is our implementing partner for the GRIT program here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, I know you've heard the term GRIT a lot thus far, but as I invite my next guest, allow me to set the stage of it. So GRIT is funded by Global Affairs Canada and implemented by Caribbean Export. And it's designed to support women entrepreneurs across the region to grow, innovate, and expand into new markets. And over the coming years, as you join us here today for our first initiative, we look forward to working closely with you and all the women entrepreneurs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to build capacity, to build export readiness, capacity to trade, and more importantly, to help you scale and grow your business. To bring development partner remarks this morning, I invite Ms. Nguyen, Second Secretary, Development from the High Commission of Canada in Barbados and the OECS, to join us to deliver her development partner remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. I had the conversation with Wayne and Tioka, and I was very keen to join you here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So thank you very much for having me. Let me begin by thanking Caribbean Export Development Agency and its national partner, Invest SVG, for organizing today's launch event, but also the series of activities throughout this week. GRIT is a 4-year, $3 million regional initiative designed to strengthen women-led micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises across the Caribbean, including here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, alongside partners in Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, Belize, and Jamaica. I think at a time when fiscal space is constrained, geopolitics are increasingly complex, growth must increasingly come from enterprises, productivity, and diversification. Initiatives like GRIT matter. We are happy to see that this project complements a suite of initiatives that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has ambitiously prioritized for MSMEs to drive the country's medium-term economic growth. Specifically, we believe that GRIT can contribute directly to the new government's vision by strengthening women-led businesses across key pillars of Vincentian economies in areas such as agribusiness and food security, tourism-linked value chains, and digital services, among others. Women entrepreneurs and you're already making significant contributions across the 4 economic pillars. Yet we know that there are still persistent barriers like access to finance, access to new export markets, business networks, and tailored skills development. We recognize that for many women entrepreneurs, building a business often means doing it alongside family responsibilities, limited time, and real financial risk, and that resilience is not theoretical, but lived. This is exactly where GRIT adds value. Through targeted technical assistance, capacity building, and market linkage support, GRIT will help businesses in St. Vincent and the Grenadines become more competitive, more resilient, and better positioned to benefit from regional and international trade. Canada firmly believes that inclusive trade, where men, women, youth, and underserved communities all fully participate, it's essential for sustainable development. Projects like GRIT reflect our commitment to ensuring that economic growth is not only strong, but also equitable and durable. We believe that entrepreneurs must have the access to the right tools, skills, information, finance, and networks to participate meaningfully and successfully. And we believe that GRIT seeks to address these gaps by building pathways for you to start grow and scale your enterprises in ways that align with national priorities and community needs. I am particularly pleased that GRIT will support export-ready women entrepreneurs to explore new market opportunities, including Canada. Canada remains a reliable trading partner for the Caribbean, and initiatives such as CaribCan continue to offer meaningful opportunities for Caribbean exporters. We recognize St. Vincent and the Grenadines' efforts to deepen business and investment ties with Canada through its diaspora. And we also see GRIT as a practical way to operationalize this agenda by connecting women-led MSMEs with diaspora and community, unlocking patient capital, business mentorship, and export opportunities that turn diaspora ties into tangible economic outcomes that are mutually beneficial. Being an entrepreneur, for me, well, I haven't been one, but I can imagine that it requires a lot of vision, resilience, adaptability, and perseverance, qualities that women entrepreneurs across St. Vincent and the Grenadines demonstrate every day. Your leadership and innovation are not only vital to your businesses, but to your communities and the national economy as a whole. We look forward to working closely with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Carib Export, Invest SVG, and other local stakeholders to ensure the successful delivery of this project and the tangible impact it is designed to deliver. Thank you, and I wish you all participating entrepreneurs every success as you continue to build your business and contribute to the country's economic future.
Thank you kindly, Ms. Nguyen, and I must mention how supportive you have been in the implementation of GRID since we started in the last year, really connecting us with partners within the region and further in Canada for greater impact. So we thank you for that. So now that you've heard from our development partner, I want you to hear now from our agency as the implementing partner. I invite to the podium Mr. Wayne Elliott, Head of Technical Programs at the Caribbean Export Development Agency, to introduce and give you an overview of our program and bring opening remarks. Mr. Elliott.
Good morning. No, come on. Good morning. Nice. Okay. So I'm Wayne Elliott, the head for technical programs at Caribbean Export. And along with my team, we're going to be here over the next couple of days to really effect some change, yeah? So let's start with the opening remarks. I'll give you a sense of what we'll be doing here. And what we've been achieving so far. Yeah. So it's truly my honor, my pleasure to be here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to really give details on a new program that Caribbean Export is implementing on behalf of Canada. The name of that program? Great. Yes. So the Caribbean Women Entrepreneurs Generating Resilient and Inclusive Trade Project. If there's one thing that we're certain about when it comes to business and Caribbean women, is that it takes a ridiculous amount to resolve and grit to be able to get it done. And so I think one of the things that we must first do here is really pause, reflect. You would have heard the speakers before me speak to the environment that we're currently operating in. And so on the behalf of the region's private sector, I want to extend our sincerest gratitude to Global Affairs Canada for this landmark initiative. It will benefit CARICOM countries Belize, Dominica, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Grenada, and right here in and the Grenadines. And as you heard, we're going to be implementing alongside Invest SVG. But you would have seen in recent times many development partners taking a more inward look. But not this one. This one is actually expanding. This one is actually bringing us or continuing to bring us or assist us with bringing projects to the Caribbean. And for that, Government of Canada, through Thrang, thank you. Now, over the past year, our region has experienced quite some significant transitions, right? And I was reflecting recently that it used to take a little bit of time before the next shock. Right, so one hurricane would pass, we'll have a couple years, and you could almost time it. You'd be like, yeah, we're due. And so you knew to expect it. Or, we never really saw a global pandemic coming. Yeah? There was a financial crisis. As soon as we thought we got over it, there was COVID. As soon as we got over that, then there were a couple of wars in the mix. We had a couple of hurricanes. And it currently, it always seems like we're recovering. Or we're building back. And for us, operating in the region, it really shows our own resolve, our own resilience, right? And I think as a Caribbean people, we've been through quite a bit. And unfortunately, I think we have quite a bit more to go through. But what I'm most impressed about is our ability to bounce back. our ability to be resilient in the face of international and local disruptions, right? What we've been able to observe throughout COVID, the fact that your entire supply chains were pretty much dismantled, yet we are still here. I am certain that each and every one of you here knows of a woman entrepreneur who was in business before the pandemic that wasn't able to return to business, yet you are still here. That's for a reason. That's for a cause. In response to the turbulent times over the last couple of years, at Caribbean Export, our mission has and continues to be clear. We want to deliver tangible value to the private sector by rethinking the way that we support growth, innovation, and resilience. We remain focused on delivering real impact. As the region's trade and investment promotion agency, we are committed to working directly with businesses to create jobs, expand opportunities, and attract investment. Our efforts are guided by our own strategic plan, which is really centered around export competitiveness, market expansion, digital transformation, and climate-smart innovation. This is the framework in which we're going to be implementing GRIT. This year alone, more than 1,500 business professionals across the region have participated in our programs. These included capacity building, trade show support, branding initiatives, digital readiness initiatives, standards and certification type opportunities, and grant funding initiatives. These efforts have already contributed to export growth, business upgrades, and increased employment, particularly for women and youth. GRIT will come in now and will continue to add and to help us to support women entrepreneurs across the 6 beneficiary countries. So over the next 4 years, GRIT is aimed to directly empower 800 women and positively impact thousands more. Now, 800 direct beneficiaries of GRIT across 6 countries, we start to do the math and we start to kind of work it out. And what you would see there is there must be a reason, or what you would ask is, what's the reason as to the direct versus the indirect and the vast difference there? The way that GRIT is designed in such a way that it allows us to work directly hand-holding and guiding entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs across the 6 countries towards their chosen outcome within the auspices of the program. What it allows us to do is come into country, get into place, get into position to work with women entrepreneurs that might have been left by traditional development type projects or traditional type projects, right? Now, here in St. Vincent, they tell me just about 10 minutes ago, everywhere is 20 minutes within reach, but not within all of our beneficiary countries. Yeah, Jamaica, we took about 5 hours to get where we wanted to do the launch. And what we wanted to do is really localize the implementation of the GRIT program. So in every single country, what we want to do is we want to tailor it in such a way that it is beneficial to the women entrepreneurs of that particular country. Because we're not all alike, we're not all the same, and we don't all face the exact same challenges. There are uniqueness, are unique characteristics and unique challenges faced across the different Caribbean countries. And what we want to do is really utilize GRIT to attend to those. So as we launch GRIT in St. Vincent, I want to encourage you to be here, to show up, to invest in you. And allow me please to be pragmatic. GRIT is designed in such a way that women entrepreneurs can take exactly what they need from GRIT. It is designed to be flexible. You do not have to engage in every single activity. You do not have to engage in every single capacity building session in order to reach your goal. Yeah? GRIT is designed to allow for you to determine the exact support that you need from the program and to take just that support for the betterment of yourself and your business. Yeah? Therefore, it allows us to touch many, many, many more women. Yeah? Now, I am absolutely certain that as we speak, there is some woman entrepreneur that you believe should be seated next to you. And I want to task you and I want to encourage you to tell her about grit, to tell her about the opportunities that you'll hear about here today, and to encourage her to interface with the program to get exactly what she needs out of the program. Is that fair? Yeah? So, through grit, we aim to change the narrative, right? Tioka often reminds me that we frame female entrepreneurship oftentimes in a negative light, right? What we don't have, what we wish we had. And as I look across the room, you ladies, you know, I've been participating in some conversations this morning with many of you. I met our friends from Beckway, and I'm encouraged, right? This is the last stop in terms of our in-country activations. And I'm encouraged by the spirit that continues to guide our women entrepreneurs. I don't know how you do it. Yeah? Yeah, great. Yeah. What I am hearing though is a repeated call for greater access to finance, greater access to the systems that enable our businesses to operate. And what I'm also encouraged by is the networks that women tend to develop amongst themselves. Many of the challenges that we faced, the solutions are actually sitting right here in the room. And so I'm looking forward to engaging over the next 3 days in the capacity building sessions that we have planned. I'm looking forward to engaging with each and every one of you as we continue to build partnership and build friendships to really help you to develop your businesses and achieve what you need to achieve most from grit. So in closing, I want to extend our sincere thanks to our partners. Global Affairs Canada, thank you very much for your support, for your commitment, and for the resources that enables us to do the work that we really want to get done on the behalf of Caribbean women entrepreneurs. To the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, thank you very much for allowing us to partner with you to really deliver for women in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on this time. And our implementation partner, Invest SVG, thank you very much for willingly coming to the table. Yeah? We've never had a situation where we've called on Invest SVG and they've denied us. And we're very grateful for your support. In every single instance, you know, we believe, you know, Invest SVG is always on our socials, they're always following the support, and they're always keeping track to ensure that we meet our commitment in delivering for the entrepreneurs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we thank you for that support. You, the entrepreneurs, please engage us. We're here to learn from you. We're here to understand your specific plight and how we may be best able to advise you on how to take most advantage of the GRIT program. Myself, my team, we're here for the next week. We're ready to engage, and I want to encourage you to take as much as you need from GRIT. Take only that. Encourage another woman entrepreneur to come on board to get what she needs so that we can ensure that women entrepreneurs across St. Vincent and the Grenadines benefit from GRIT. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elliott. And I must say, as Caribbean Export celebrates 30 years of building businesses across the region, and more importantly, investing in the lives of people and communities and so forth. And just last week, we had our annual results report, and in reflecting and looking at that, I realized just how important partnership is to what we do. Yeah, and as such, I am very grateful that we have two key representatives who you will hear from shortly, but more importantly, representatives of government. And that's important, that we don't just come to the country and say we're implementing a project, but we work in collaboration with our implementing partners, Invest SVG. And most importantly, we streamline our programs in line with the national development agenda of each country. Yeah? So you'll hear more about what we have in store this week and what's coming up. But one thing we can assure you from the Caribbean Expo team is that the GRIT program will be curated to serve the realities, the needs, and the ecosystem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines entrepreneurship landscape. At this time, I welcome to bring remarks on behalf of the Minister of Trade, Mrs. Okolo John Patrick, Director of Trade in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established. It is both an honor and a privilege to address you at this very important launch of the GRIT project that places women at the center of trade, innovation, and economic resilience in the Caribbean. Today's focus on generating resilient and inclusive trade is not just timely, it is essential. Across our region, women-led businesses continue to demonstrate remarkable creativity, adaptability, and strength. Yet, we must also acknowledge that many still face barriers in accessing markets, scaling operations, and fully participating in international trade. This project is designed to change that reality. One shared goal is clear: to expand market access and unlock export opportunities for women-led enterprises. Both ambition alone is not enough. We must equip with the right tools, the knowledge, and the network to succeed. Through this initiative, we aim to provide practical training and strategic insights that will strengthen your export readiness. This includes understanding international market requirements, improving product standards, leveraging digital trade platforms, and building strong competitive brands. These are not abstract concepts. They are tangible capabilities that can transform your businesses. We also recognize that competitiveness in today's global market demands more than just participation. It requires innovation, efficiency, and resilience. Therefore, this program is equally focused on increasing productivity and enhancing competitiveness, ensuring that women-led businesses are not only present in global markets, but thriving within them. Importantly, this effort is about inclusion. When women succeed in trade, communities benefit, economies grow, and the society becomes more equitable. Investing in women entrepreneurs is not just the right thing to do, it is a smart economic strategy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Foreign Investment, and the Diaspora Affairs will continue to work to create an enabling environment where women entrepreneurs can flourish. We will continue to advocate for policies that reduce barriers, improve access to finance, and support sustainable business growth. At this time, I would just like to pause to thank all the sponsors and the supporters of this initiative. Thanks to Global Affairs Canada and also the Caribbean Expo team for this initiative. To all the participants here today, please embrace the opportunity, engage fully in the training, build connections, and challenge yourself to think beyond borders. The global market is not out of your reach. It is within your reach. Let us work together to build a more resilient, inclusive, and prosperous St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the region by extension, driven by power and potential for women entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you kindly, Miss John Patrick. And at this time, it is my esteemed honor to invite to give this morning's feature address the Minister of Family, Gender Affairs, and Person with Disabilities. And I have to pause for a moment because you will learn about this. Of course, you've seen the fact sheet before I invite Minister with us. But for those of you who have read the information we've sent to you thus far on GRIT, you know that while GRIT serves all women entrepreneurs, we particularly serve women entrepreneurs who are indigenous, rural-based, young women entrepreneurs, and those with disabilities. So when I saw the ministry months ago when we were preparing the letter, I said, what the perfect fit. Yeah, that all or most of our portfolios are within one ministry in this country, which clearly means that when we're partnering, we ideally have all of our key thematic areas within one ministry, and it provides a lot of opportunity for collaboration and impact. So without further ado, I welcome to give this morning's feature address the Honorable Laverne Gibson Vellock, Minister of Family, Gender Affairs, and Persons with Disabilities.
Thank you. I too crave your indulgence in allowing me to adopt the protocol which has been established. As was said, I'm the Minister of Gender Affairs. I think that's the first reason I'm here, but now I'm here in its disabilities too. So I have a double reason for being here. So this is my honor. Good morning, distinguished guests and colleagues. It is a profound pleasure and honor to be here today, not only as Minister with responsibility for gender affairs, but as the woman who broke through the glass ceiling of banking in this country to become its first female bank manager. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are no strangers to resilience. We have faced challenges, weathered storms, yet we continue to rise like the proverbial phoenix. Today, we build on that strength as we gather to launch a transformative project, the Generating Resilient and Inclusive Trade GRIT project, which aims to empower our people, especially our women. Globally, 1 in 10 women live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $2.15 per day, according to World Bank data. At the same time, women continue to experience higher rates of unemployment than men, despite often attaining higher levels of education. These realities should be of great concern to all of us. The empowerment of women is central to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 5, ensuring gender equality and empowering all women and girls. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines fully recognizes that national development depends on the meaningful participation of women at every level. Closing the gender gap is not only a matter of equity, but a prerequisite for sustainable economic growth. We also acknowledge that measures which improve and secure women's financial independence, promote equal participation, and provide socio-economic protections are essential to reducing poverty and inequality while enhancing the quality of life for women and their families. Equally important is fostering inclusive economic environments by addressing the intersection of gender and disability, ensuring that women and girls with disabilities are not left behind but are able to participate fully and equitably in economic opportunities. However, we must also consider the realities of economic and external shocks. Women and girls often bear a disproportionate share of the negative impacts of climate change and crises, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines is no exception. Our geographic location as a small island developing state makes us particularly vulnerable to natural disasters and external disruptions. Recent events, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano, and the passage of Hurricane Beryl, have highlighted this vulnerability. These crises revealed that the sectors most severely affected were those dominated by women, particularly micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, operating within the informal economy. Industries such as agriculture, fisheries, domestic services, handicrafts and creative goods, food processing, and vending experienced significant disruption. The cumulated impact of these shocks has been profound, exposing structural inequalities and placing considerable strain on the country's economic stability. For many women entrepreneurs, the loss of income, limited access to recovery financing, and lack of social protection mechanisms have made rebuilding particularly difficult. This highlights the urgent need for more resilient, inclusive, and gender-responsive economic systems. In this context, women's economic empowerment is fundamental to the sustained development and long-term resilience of our country. When women are economically empowered, families are strengthened, communities more resilient, and national development outcomes are significantly improved. Recognizing this, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government advanced the Prime Grant Program, an initiative aimed at alleviating poverty, enabling entrepreneurship, and supporting the establishment of new businesses with a deliberate focus on MSMEs. Through this program, financial grants and business support services were provided for promising micro-enterprises and startups. To date, women account for 53% of approved beneficiaries, a clear demonstration of our commitment to advancing women's economic empowerment and inclusive growth. At the same time, we acknowledge that government cannot do this in isolation. Strategic partnerships have been essential in expanding our reach and our impact. The project assisting the economic recovery and empowerment of women in Latin America and the Caribbean in the post-COVID-19 era, funded by the government of Taiwan, has supported women-led MSMEs and aspiring entrepreneurs through training, capacity building, and access to opportunities and resources. This momentum has been further strengthened through the Build Back Equal project led by UN Women and UNFPA, as well as the CUSO Blueprint for Gender Equality project, both funded by Global Affairs Canada. These initiatives have played vital roles in promoting sustainability, resilience, and gender-responsive economic development. As these important initiatives come to an end, the GRIT project emerges at an ideal time. As another 4-year partnership with Global Affairs Canada, it offers an important opportunity to build on the gains already achieved, ensure continuity of support, and deepen the national commitment to creating an inclusive economy where women entrepreneurs are able to recover and to grow. The GRIT project is strategically aligned with our national economic and social development priorities, supporting the country's vision for inclusive, resilient, and sustainable growth. Anchored in the principles of equity and opportunity, this project will directly advance national efforts to reduce poverty, enhance livelihoods, and improve overall quality of life. While we note the strides made, we must address persistent gaps, particularly in access to markets. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, many women are already entrepreneurs, operating small and often informal businesses in areas such as food production, craft, retail, and services. While these enterprises are vital to our communities, they are often constrained by limited access to finance, training, and exposure to regional and international markets. Initiatives such as the She Trades program, of which St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a partner, are critical in bridging trade gaps. She Trade supports women in transitioning from informal activities into structured, sustainable enterprises by providing training in business management, marketing, and export readiness. It also facilitates business formalization, improves product standards, and connects with women entrepreneurs to regional and global markets, expanding their income earning potential. Looking ahead, the development of tailored products and services for MSMEs must remain a strategic priority. This includes programs that support women-owned businesses in formal registration, ownership, and growth, while addressing legal, administrative, and social barriers that limit full participation. We must also expand the use of technology-based financial solutions. Digital platforms such as mobile banking, e-payments, and online registration systems can significantly improve access to finance and business services, particularly for women in rural and underserved communities. These innovations can enhance financial inclusion, strengthen resilience, and create more equitable opportunities for growth. Concurrently, we must confront the persistent challenge of limited access to capital. Many women face barriers in securing startup financing, and those already in business often struggle with inconsistent funding, affecting sustainability and growth. While there has been an increase in women-led MSMEs, many remain focused on daily survival rather than long-term expansion. This underscores the urgent need for financial literacy and business development support. Women must be empowered to view their enterprises not only as a source of daily income, but as scalable ventures with the potential for growth, job creation, and long-term economic contribution. An additional pathway to strengthening women's economic empowerment is the promotion of cooperative business models, and not because that department falls under my ministry. Cooperatives provide an opportunity for women, particularly those operating in small or informal enterprises, to pool resources, share risks, and increase their collective bargaining power. There is definitely merit to strength in numbers. Through cooperatives, women can improve access to financing, markets, and inputs, while benefiting from shared knowledge, skills, and support systems. In sectors such as agriculture, fisheries, and creative industries, cooperative structures can enhance productivity, operational costs, and create more stable income streams. Cooperative models also strengthen resilience in the face of economic and climate-related shocks by enabling collective coping mechanisms and shared recovery strategies. Distinguished colleagues and ladies, in closing, as we gather here today with key partners and stakeholders, and I take this opportunity to thank everybody who came together to put this event together, let us be mindful that empowering women and strengthening MSMEs is not a short-term intervention, but a long-term development priority that must be embedded within national planning and implementation frameworks. Let us reaffirm our shared commitment to advancing gender equality and empowering women in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Together, we can build a future where women lead, where their contributions are fully recognized, and where our nation flourishes as a result. Thank you very much.
Thank you kindly, Minister. And I must say, two notes from your remarks this morning, and you mentioned She Trades. And She Trades is one of our sister programs, as we say, also funded by Global Affairs Canada, as well as I know in the room is UN Women, who also has Build Back Equal. So I think it speaks to the impact and investment of Global Affairs Canada in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the region. So before we conclude this morning's proceedings, I want to give you a bit of a frame for what this activation week for grit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines looks like. I see a lot of exciting faces. My good friend there is smiling at me in the back, because for the next 3 days we are going to engage in an export readiness workshop, as you know. And I know everyone here has workshop, but it's really a starting point that frames for you the journey to getting toward export readiness, so that you, the entrepreneurs in the room and those looking at us live online, can pinpoint, okay, so when it comes to marketing, compliance, regulatory operations, finessing my product for the Canadian market, how do I do all of that? And what do I require to do all of that? And as such, you can easily pinpoint from the really expansive package that we've put together for you over the next 2 days, what you have to, as my colleague Wayne said, lock into when we start with our interventions, with our activities, with our launch to market program. You will know exactly, okay, I have to come in at this point or at that point, or I need to do this training, or this is applicable to my business, yeah? So we're going to go into a 2-day intensive export readiness workshop to really give you that roadmap and help you position where you are in the export readiness process. And then after that, on day 3, any of you in the room participated in ProNet before? Right. I heard so many great reviews from Nadine, and our colleague Michaela would have led that workshop with you all a few weeks ago. I hear a lot of talk. Let's give a round of applause to Michaela there. I hear a lot of agreement. So guess what? ProNet part 2. Our digital marketing workshop is going to be held on Tuesday, so we look forward to continuing that work. And for those of you who are unaware of what ProNet is, it's a 10-module business course developed by Caribbean Export Agency, finessed, and recently updated by the University of West Indies. So we are excited to really work with that structured, evidence-based program that has a ton of Caribbean entrepreneur examples to support you in transitioning and improving and scaling your business. And that's it's 3 days ahead. But more importantly, as you know, and I look forward to engaging with you all, we mean it when we say we are not going with a boxed approach for every country. We are intent on niching our program to each country, understanding that every country that we have to target in GRIT is very different, and the landscape, the entrepreneurship landscape is very different. So I look forward to our spirited consultations that we will have, where we will dive a bit deeper. I know you all of you in here would have completed our baseline survey, but we'll get to dive a bit deeper into understanding your businesses, understanding, we're not going to sit on the deficit approach of the challenges, but understanding the opportunities that exist for us to leverage, because in every space there's always opportunity, and we have enough grit to get beyond same. Yeah, I want to thank you so much, and let me go back to my launch order protocol. I want to now move into the thank yous of this morning's proceedings, and I want to thank first of all the Honorable Minister for Family, Gender Affairs and Persons with Disabilities for joining us here this morning. I must say that everyone you see at the head table, with the exception of our colleague, Ms. Nguyen, they all have competing meetings this morning. And the fact that they're here, they were on time, before 10, all of them. Really appreciate it. And we have to acknowledge that. Trust me, we weren't waiting on the ministers, we were waiting on the feed so that we could send the message far and wide across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, yeah? So I really want to thank the Honourable Minister for joining us here. Of course, our colleague, Ms. Nguyen, for travelling from Barbados. And she told me weeks ago, she said, I'll be in St. Vincent, of course, because we had other countries in the weeks before. I'll definitely join you all there. Thank you for joining us. Miss Anna Young, I know you've just commenced as the Executive Director of Day 4. This is day 4, and you're already opening. We'd swear that you were in charge for the last few months. But more importantly, thank you so much, and I really extend my thanks to Nadine, who has been really championing. I just told her, I said, Nadine, you keep us on our toes. But how this morning just came together so beautifully. We are appreciative of the entire Invest SVG team and the hard work that they have all put into this. There are already pictures online, live stream. It's the opportunity for us to send our message far and wide to other women entrepreneurs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is what's important. Yeah, happy for our friends joining us from back way. We wanted to ensure inclusion, so we made arrangements so that they too can join us here this morning. And that's the beauty of our program. Mrs. Okolo, John Patrick, we've been in contact with your office a lot. And you've been so kind to us. And again, thank you. I know you all have competing meetings and you stayed with us all morning. We're so grateful to have you here. Of course, our executive director, I'm promoting you. Our head of technical programs, thank you so much for your leadership always to our team. And I must mention and thank as well my colleague with me here today, Ms. Destiny Eastman, who you would all have been in contact with, our program implementation officer. And most importantly, our team back at home in Barbados, the Caribbean export team, who, without them, none of this is possible accordingly. So I thank you all for joining us here this morning. I look forward to an exciting week with you all. The team is ready, our presentations are ready, our engagement flavor is ready, and we are here to serve, to learn, to connect, and to grow. Yeah? All right, beautiful. So I am going to end the formal part of this morning's proceedings. I'm going to invite our head table to join us for photos, and we are going down thereafter, ladies, to the restaurant where you will join us for lunch, and we'll get to talking, we'll get to engaging, and we'll get ready for the week ahead. So thank you so much for joining us here this morning. It's my pleasure to be your host, and I look forward to facilitating and engaging with you for the rest of the week. I thank you. So I'm going to ask now.
Our export marketing coordinator, Ms. Anjanella Young. It is a wonderful day here. Congratulations with this launch.
Thank you very much. It has been a lot of work that we had to put in, but it turned out really well.
And St. Vincent and the Grenadines got a lot of kudos this morning in the remarks about you guys staying on top of them just to ensure that they're here in St. Vincent so that the entrepreneurs here can benefit from that. Like, I know you're like swamped because you're now coming back from the UK. Like, just give us a synopsis of like how much work went into making today possible, this launch for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, we had some challenges in terms of the amount of activities that are happening today as a nation. We have ministers meeting, we have the customs are having some training, we have so much other things. So it was a bit difficult getting our commitments from ministers, but of course, you see our gender affairs minister came through for us today, which was awesome.
And I see that participants looking very happy and enthusiastic about being here. This great project. What really inspired that to come to St. Vincent?
Well, initially, remember last month we had some training with Caribbean Export, and from what they saw in terms of the enthusiasm from the exporters and entrepreneurs, they thought, oh, well, St. Vincent, definitely we're going to come soon. but it came sooner than we expected, which is no problem. And all the exporters and entrepreneurs here seems to be really, really, really happy that they have definitely tried to come to St. Vincent, and they are going to benefit, because at the end of it all, once their business qualifies, they can qualify for a grant. So it's worthwhile.
And for other persons watching this interview and wondering, how can I be a part of it? Who can they contact at Invest SVG?
They just contact our office. Most of our staff knows exactly what is going on. We don't hide. And call our office. You can ask for myself or anybody in the export department or anyone, and we'll give you all the necessary information. Of course, if you're registered with Invest SVG already, all this information comes to you organically.
And if you're not registered?
You need to get registered. But if you're not registered, just call us, email us at export@investsvg.com, and we should be able to be a part of it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And now we're going to talk to Dr. Josie Davy, who is a participant here this morning, and she's going to talk to us about, what being here so far, what the experience has been. Come, Dr. Davy. So you are one of the entrepreneurs that's a part of this launch this morning. What has the experience been like so far?
Well, it's very interesting to know that people are interested in us as women. And when we say women, we're not excluding men, because I'm not sexist. But everyone knows that women drive society. What women changes in society, everything changes. So this has been a very good opportunity for us to, one, understand our importance. And it's always good to celebrate ourselves in these ways and to get the information necessary to level up.
Okay. What was your main takeaway from the message this morning?
Well, I'm happy to see the support of Global Export Canada in collaboration with Invest SVG and the formation of this program. And they've saved the best for last. They've saved St. Vincent and the Grenadines for last. So it will be an interesting journey going forward and seeing the opportunities, not for only to export products, but services as well.
Okay, thank you so much, and I hope you may continue to enjoy the proceedings and all that they have to offer.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to have a small chat with the minister, who will just give us a brief overview of how she felt to be here in her capacity. But just before we get to her, we'll talk to another participant. She's no stranger to us, and she is one of our entrepreneurs in the fashion industry. And so talk to us. We've been seeing you at a lot of these, and you're here at the launch for Grith, which speaks a lot to the entrepreneurs that we have here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including you. Tell me, how have you savored what has happened here this morning?
Well, it's a very exciting opportunity to be here as a female entrepreneur, and I've been involved with Caribbean Export. I've been in business for over 25 years, so for most of those 25 years I've done a lot of the capacity development that Caribbean Export offers. So I've been a beneficiary of a lot of the initiatives, and I've worked with Invest SVG from their inception as National Investment Promotion Agency before they were Invest SVG. So I'm a big believer in educating yourself, developing capacity to be export ready. I'm already an exporter, but I'm looking to scale, so I'm hoping that this is an opportunity to scale. Plus, I also represent other organizations. I'm in the pre-launch stage of a training facility that's a non-profit for women in the needlecraft sector, trying to help women who are in needlecraft scale themselves, because there's a big gap in the artisanal sector for things like that. People want to see more hand-produced things, but how do you get those people to scale and to be able to leverage that for people to be able to collaborate with them, for them to be able to make livable wages off of their creativity?
I noticed they spoke about women being able to pick exactly what they need. How did you feel about it? Because that resonated very nicely with me, because sometimes women, they're offering these things, but they don't want everything that is being offered. So for the different sectors, the different entrepreneurs, being able to pre-select exactly what they need and to take away from this, what was that feeling like for you?
That is such a crucial part of it, because I have a little saying. I said very often there are interventions and your arm might be broken, but they put a cast on your leg kind of syndrome. And I think that this program is showing that they fully understand and recognize that it's not a one size fits all thing. And out from that, I respect 100% the approach that they're taking in terms of elevating female entrepreneurs and the MSME sector by coming up with a solution that is more bespoke and fitting of what people need. Because people are at different stages of growth. So in order to get people, there are some people who are right there, ready to launch, ready to lead, and of course they're emerging. So you have to, those types of businesses have different needs, and I'm happy to see that there's full recognition of that. So that is crucial, and I could already sense the difference in the program from that approach.
All right, thank you so much, and we always look forward to having a chat with you to see how, you have been able to give us a wealth of information, because you literally have been with these organizations for a number of years, and so it's really always a pleasure to talk with you and to share with you in these spaces. Have a blessed one.
My pleasure. You too. Yeah.
So we continue to have these conversations. We continue to see how women entrepreneurs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can benefit, and they are definitely, our minister is going to come again with her lovely self. Minister, you spoke this morning, and you are here in several capacities.
Seems that way to me too.
Really and truly, from a personal perspective, how does it feel to be able to, in your own achievement of breaking that glass ceiling, to just be in this space where women in business, women who are just being celebrated and want to scale their business, they're able to have this platform and this forum to do so in a way that is specific to their needs?
To be honest, like every day I pinch myself. How did I get here? But it was a conscious choice, because I retired 5 years early to take up politics. But being here today, I see this as an opportunity for local entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, to have a place where they can grow and develop. Because, like I said, too many of us, and I see it a lot, especially in the fishing industry, that a lot of people just do enough for today.
Right.
They never think of tomorrow, sustainability. So with this GRIT program, I see a bright future for entrepreneurs. I see a lot of people around here today, people I'm very familiar with, and people I know. There's one lady here who I am in awe of, because she left banking to pursue sewing, and I don't know how she got to that, how she made that decision, but to me it just augurs well for women who want to become their own money makers, their own entrepreneurs, who want to break some more glass ceilings and go into the world of business for themselves. And I hope that what the takeaways that they get from this conference will serve them in good stead, so that they would understand what it takes to develop their different, I have to call them the skills and industries, and also their skill as, marketing persons. Because a lot of times you walk into people's business places and you don't get a sense that they're really serious about you buying. You don't get that welcoming kind of vibe that will encourage you to stay. So, sometimes it's the mindsets you have to change, and they have to relearn a lot of things. And if that is what this provides, then I'm so happy.
One last thing, Minister, before you go, because I know you're crunching for time this morning, but just for this opportunity to open up for those who are disabled or differently abled, and representing that as part of your mandate, how does that make you feel?
Well, you see, I got a little emotional, because I really didn't put both of them together, and but I'm happy for that, because we have a lot of disabled people who don't want to remain disabled, but they need help. They need that stepping stone to take them to the next level. So this is awesome.
All right, thank you, Minister, and thanks for
You're
taking the
very
time
welcome.
out with us this morning.
Thank
All
you.
the best. All right. So We're now going to talk with our representative from Canada. She has been instrumental in this process. Thank you. Just reintroduce yourself and tell us about your role in today's launch.
Hi, my name is Tu Trang Nguyen. I'm Second Secretary Development with the High Commission of Canada based in Barbados. I'm here today as the development partner to Carib Export and XVG, Invest SVG, to help launch the Generating Resilient and Inclusive Trade project in SVG. We've been really looking forward to this opportunity to bring this project and connect with the women entrepreneurs here. And I think there's a very comprehensive and forward-looking approach that Carib Export and Invest SVG are bringing forward to support women to start and grow and expand and scale their businesses and explore the export opportunities that might come in new markets.
And we love that Canada is making themselves felt in the region, and for us to know that they're open for business with us and they're here to support us in any way. You know, why is this important to your organization? Like, we feel the love and the support, but why is it important to your organization to have this inclusive approach, especially not just for just women entrepreneurs, but women entrepreneurs who are differently abled in the market?
I mean, I think we've had kind of a long-standing investment and recognition that inclusive trade that brings all parts of society together is a critical element to sustained economic growth. Like, this is something that we fundamentally believe in, and that's why we recognize initiatives like this that are doing intentional outreach to women entrepreneurs of all backgrounds, of all ages, and of abilities, that everyone has something to bring, and everyone has the opportunity to reach their potential, hopefully through this project.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. And just one final question. I don't know how long you've been here, but what have you enjoyed about St. Vincent so far?
I mean, so I haven't been here for very long, but throughout the opportunity that I've had so far, I really appreciate and admire the landscape. I love the hills. I love the lush kind of forests, and I'm really excited to explore and see a lot more of SVG.
Well, please ensure that you do that before you leave.
Yes, I will. I'm going to make an effort.
All right, thank you, and have a good one.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we continue to have the conversation, and we're with Ms. Nadine Agard, and she will remind us of what her portfolio is and how do you feel about just getting to this point with this launch today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I am the Director of Export Marketing and Promotions at Invest SVG, and I can't begin to tell you how happy to see this to fruition. I know that they're having a few more days of training coming up, but I'm really so happy that the launch went off so well and that the reception by our entrepreneurs, our female entrepreneurs, has been so robust.
You have been pushing for this, they've stated that, and I'm really happy that you are really seeing the potential for St. Vincent, for seeing our business sector, and for just advocating for them. You know, why is this so important for you?
Well, it's important because I don't know if you know this expression. It is if you train a man, the training tends to stay there. But if you train a woman, you're training her children, you're training communities. I think it's an African proverb. Not that I'm using it to denigrate men by any shape of any shape or form. I'm just saying that because women tend to be nurturers in our society, I think that the training just goes a little bit farther when it comes to their development. And as you can see from the reception in this room, just at the launch, our female entrepreneurs are extremely keen, and going off of the ProNet training that we had last month, I'm just so touched by the turnout, and you can see that the quality of the information, because ProNet was restructured and Grit is just being launched. So I think it was done to promote a more interactive type of training, and I think that our entrepreneurs, whether male or female, prefer that type of model. So I'm really, really happy by the turnout. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes for the next 2 days. I couldn't be more pleased with how today went.
All right, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we will continue to talk to the persons who are, essential part of this. So we're getting a team effort right now. I love that you guys have tailored this specific to the countries, and so each country now we are in St. Vincent for the launch. When it's best, you save the best for last, and so you have tailored it. And I noted in the proceedings earlier, it's women get to choose what they need from it, and they're encouraged to pass it on to other women. Why this model and why was that so? I love it, by the way, but why that model? Why is it so important? And the inclusiveness of women with different abilities. I don't know who wants to go first.
I can go first. So for us, realistically, grit is about being able to move forward at your own pace to achieve what you want to achieve for your business. And so working with women entrepreneurs, we do recognize that very often in our societies, they do carry the duty of care, right? And for them, working around managing the family, getting your business together, keeping the household together, we do recognize that we need to be flexible. Grit is also designed in such a way that women entrepreneurs can determine how far they want to go with the program. If it is a case where you're just interested in capacity building, it's flexible enough to allow you to grow at your own pace. Ultimately, what we would want to do across the Caribbean is we want to see Caribbean products or more Caribbean products on shelves in Canadian markets. And so ultimately, GRIT is really designed to help with export development, and ultimately we'll be trying to reach a goal of having more Caribbean products actively in Canada on sale for the consumption of Canadian businesses, Canadian people. Now, to be able to achieve that, we recognize that not all enterprises would be at the same stage of development. Additionally, we also have some thematic areas within our strategic plan that all businesses in the Caribbean can benefit from. These being digital transformation and the green transition. And so for us, we thought it very important to design the program in such a way that you can interface with the program when you're available, when it best suits you to achieve what you need to achieve, so that for GRIT and GRIT participants, it's an all-rounded positive success. What we don't want necessarily is for one person to believe, you need to take every single part of it to the disadvantage maybe of another beneficiary.
Right.
If you're at the stage where you have a really great product, you're ready to export, maybe you're already exporting, and you want to take it to the Canadian market, then we have a specific part of the program. They launch the market for you. If you're more interested in greening your business and or digitizing your business, then there's a separate segment there for you as well. Not, all women wouldn't necessarily want to digitize their business, green it at the same time, create a new product, and expand into a new market all at the same time. And so we designed it in a way to be flexible, to really respond to the needs of women-owned firms in each country as they arise.
Love that attitude, by the way.
And if I can just, you asked the question, I'll just build on what Wayne said, and you asked the question about inclusivity. That's a major mandate of ours. So you heard when we presented earlier, we all spoke to the fact that while GRIT is open to all women entrepreneurs, we have put a particular focus on young women entrepreneurs in indigenous communities or indinously owned businesses, rural women entrepreneurs, and women entrepreneurs with disabilities. Because we do realize that while, yes, women face barriers to trade and so forth, these women are marginalized even further. And as such, you would find that in the room here, our colleagues, women entrepreneurs from Back Bay, we provided scholarships to ensure that they're here and they can be supported to attend daily all our trainings and so forth. It's important for us, and you asked about how we're niching to each country. As Wayne said, yes, we're one Caribbean, but we don't all have the same culture, experiences, logistical challenges, all of that across our separate countries. So for us, we did not want to come to each Caribbean country and say, oh, this is our program, fit the mold. We have seen that a lot, and because of that, there has been mission drift across many organizations when programs are implemented. So as you heard us say here today, Yes, we have a framework for the program, but we're going to meet. We have been meeting before. We have a baseline study that was curated and executed. Over 1,000 women entrepreneurs already have completed that. So we're working based on evidence. And then when we come into country, what we're doing is we're meeting with women entrepreneurs. We're meeting with our development partners in country who are already implementing programs. We're understanding where we can leverage opportunities so that we're not duplicating efforts. Yeah, we don't have the time or the resources in this region to duplicate efforts anymore. Yeah, so we're working collectively with our development partners, with our government partners, as you see here today, but more importantly, with the women entrepreneurs to understand, as my colleague Wayne said, they're not all at the same level. Yeah, but we're going to take you on a program from start to finish of where you are at now to export readiness, and wherever it serves you best. For some women entrepreneurs who are looking on today, export may not be your final goal, but there are training and capacity building programs within GRIT that you can benefit to scale your business, to grow your business, to finesse your business sustainability strategy, to make your business more green, more sustainable, more technologically sound. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited. We are excited for the week ahead, but GRIT, this is our last country. We have a lot of learnings from St. Lucia, come right down to Grenada last week, Jamaica, Belize, and the Dominican Republic in between. And we look forward to learning. That's the first thing. Connecting and growing together with the women entrepreneurs within St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Listen, I love your approach. I'm in love with this project. I think I'm going to come and get some of the training, guys, because this is it. You're very intentional, you're very specific and targeted, and you're very authentic. The energy that I'm get coming from you guys and in the room is just amazing. And just give me your final 2 cents.
So just to add, you had mentioned the fact that we are very authentic and we really focus on inclusivity, and that is one thing that we don't take for granted. So coming from the consultations that we had in Jamaica and St. Vincent, Jamaica and Grenada, most of the women had spoken to the fact that this is the first time that they saw a program where people came to them and people saw them in the locations that they exist and they live in, and that is something that we plan to continue. And even today, when we mentioned the inclusion of women from backway, I think that moving forward, that our primary mandate of inclusion is something that would continue to drive the project and show that we genuinely care about women moving forward and ensuring that all women entrepreneurs are represented.
Kudos to the team, and I wish you all success, and I love that you have a man helping to support the grit of women, because you know what, we really want to do it inclusive and stuff. I really applaud you guys for the approach that you've taken, and you guys are really putting some grit behind this project, so congratulations and all the success. We have one final participant who is young and wants to talk to us about, she's already excited. So as we wrap up, we're going to talk to one young entrepreneur. She's here at the launch and she's excited and she wants to share with us. Tell me, what are your sentiments about what you've seen and heard here this morning, and how are you feeling?
Oh, I am feeling great. A little nervous, but great. And I've been inspired to come to this program simply because I do want to become an entrepreneur and do something not only for myself but for my country as well.
What is your name and what is it that you're interested in doing?
My name is Ariel Seals, and I'm interested in creating a safe space for persons to release emotions, actually.
Okay, and how do you intend to do that?
I do that using tactile activities, also using things like mannequins and music.
Okay.
You know, basically a way for people to use their sensory, to release whatever emotions they have.
Okay, and you've already started, or you're looking to start?
Well, I do have a business proposal in plan. I'm doing corrections on it, and I have been trying to network. One of the reasons why I'm here as well.
Oh, so you're literally taking the initiative as a young woman to put yourself in a position where you can get the support to get started. Very nice. We wish you all the success, and I hope that this program is able to give you the grit and everything you need to get going. So any encouragement you want to give to other young people who are thinking about going into business and not sure how to get up and get started?
Well, for persons like me, I did not really have that support, and I would encourage other persons to find themselves in programs such as this one, Grit, and it would be wonderful for them to go ahead and take that push, take that step. Don't allow the imposter syndrome part of you to take initiative, basically. It would be wonderful if you are able to overcome whatever anxieties that you have and go ahead and take the step. Risks are involved, it's necessary for you to grow, and that's something that you need to be happy about. Whatever challenges that take place, those are things you can grow from.
Thank you so much and all the best in
Thank
your
you.
endeavors. Well, that is a wrap. You know, resilience, sustainability, just getting up and getting it done. This is a big part of what the Growth Program is about. They're definitely about empowering women, different types of women, whether you're indigenous, whether you are differently abled. Once you're willing to get up and make it happen, this project, this program is here to give you the support at whatever scale or whatever level that you are. So from the Agency for Public Information, it was absolutely our pleasure just being here this morning to share with you something that is so empowering, something that is so important. If you're a woman in business and you want to get started, if you're a woman in business and you want the support, get in touch with Invest SVG as they continue to partner with agencies that's able to take you and your business to the next level. For the Agency for Public Information, I'm Nika Anderson-Isaacs.